Every second you waste is a piece of your life you will never get back. Time is not just minutes passing on a clock. It is your energy, your opportunities, your potential, slowly being spent whether you are aware of it or not. Most people don't fail because they are incapable. They fail because they are distracted. Because they trade their dreams for temporary comfort. Because they allow easy pleasures to replace meaningful progress. Look around. Distraction is everywhere. Your phone calls you. Entertainment pulls you in. Comfort whispers that you can start tomorrow. But tomorrow is the biggest lie you keep telling yourself. Success is not destroyed in one big mistake. It disappears in small daily delays, in just 5 more minutes, in I'll do it later. That is how time slips away unnoticed until regret becomes heavy. You cannot build a powerful life with weak discipline. Feelings change every hour. Some days you feel motivated. Some days you feel tired, bored, or lazy. If you only act when you feel like it, your life will move in random directions. Discipline is choosing what matters most over what feels good right now. It is showing up when you don't feel ready. It is working when no one is watching. That is where strength is built. Motivation is exciting, but it is unreliable. It is like a spark, bright, emotional, short-lived. Discipline is the engine. It keeps moving even when the spark is gone. The people you admire are not always inspired. They are consistent. They follow systems. They have routines that remove decision-making. They don't ask, "Do I feel like it today?" They simply begin. Comfort feels safe, but it is dangerous. Growth lives in discomfort. Every time you avoid a hard task, you train your brain to escape effort. Every time you face it, you train your brain to become stronger. Discipline is like a muscle. It grows only when challenged. If your days are too easy, your future will be hard. If your days are hard with purpose, your future becomes powerful. Big results don't come from big efforts done once. They come from small actions repeated daily. One workout does not change your body. One focused hour does not build mastery. But small, disciplined actions stack. Day by day, they create momentum. Momentum creates confidence. Confidence builds identity. And identity shapes destiny. The real transformation is not what you achieve. It is who you become. When you stop wasting time, when you do what you said you would do, you start seeing yourself differently. You become someone who follows through. Someone who can be trusted by themselves. That identity is unbreakable. Because now discipline is not something you try to do. It is who you are. Imagine your future self watching you right now. Watching how you spend this hour. This evening. This day. Will that future version of you feel proud or disappointed? Every action today is a vote for the person you are becoming. You are either building strength or feeding weakness. There is no neutral. Your life changes the moment you decide that your goals are more important than your excuses. Stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Start with what you have, where you are. Protect your time. Train your mind. Do hard things daily. That is how you transform your mindset. That is how you build unbreakable discipline. And that is how you stop wasting the only life you have. Time is the most misunderstood resource in human life. People treat it like it is endless, like another day will always arrive, like opportunities will wait patiently. But time is life in its purest form. When you give your time to something, you are not just spending minutes, you are spending a part of your existence. Every hour you lose is an hour of growth you will never experience, an hour of skill you never built, an hour of health, knowledge, or progress that could have changed your future. The clock does not pause when you hesitate. It does not slow down when you feel confused. It keeps moving with or without your permission, turning potential into memory. This is why successful people guard their time with intensity. They understand that wasted time is not harmless. It slowly shapes an average life. Time invested with intention, however, compounds. One focused hour a day becomes expertise. One disciplined habit becomes transformation. The difference between regret and achievement is often how daily hours are treated, not talent, not luck, not background. At the same time, the modern world is designed to steal attention. Distraction is no longer occasional. It is constant, engineered, and addictive. Notifications, short videos, endless scrolling, and quick entertainment give small bursts of pleasure that feel harmless. But each distraction trains the brain to avoid effort and seek ease. Focus becomes weaker. Patience becomes rare. Deep work starts to feel uncomfortable. The mind becomes used to stimulation instead of creation. This is how dreams slowly fade, not through dramatic failure but through daily diversion. A distracted mind cannot build a disciplined life. It reacts instead of choosing. It consumes instead of creating. The danger is not just lost time, it is a weakened ability to concentrate on what truly matters. When attention is scattered, energy is scattered. When energy is scattered, progress slows. Learning to control attention is learning to control life. Reducing distraction is not about restriction, it is about reclaiming power. When focus returns, clarity grows. When clarity grows, action becomes stronger. And when actions are focused and repeated, change becomes inevitable. Feelings are powerful, but they are unstable. If your progress depends on how you feel each day, your results will always be inconsistent. Some mornings you wake up energized and confident. Other days you feel tired, doubtful, or unmotivated. If action only happens when emotions are positive, growth becomes rare and unpredictable. Success is not built on emotional highs. It is built on commitment during emotional lows. Discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of mood. It is the ability to move forward when excitement is gone and resistance is present. When you rely on feelings, you give control of your life to something that changes by the hour. When you rely on discipline, you take that control back. Discipline creates structure. Structure reduces hesitation. Reduced hesitation leads to more action. Over time, consistent action builds skill, strength, and confidence. Ironically, discipline often creates the feelings people wait for. Action produces motivation, not the other way around. When you complete difficult tasks, your brain builds proof that you are capable. That proof changes self-belief. Strong self-belief supports stronger action. This cycle is how discipline quietly shapes powerful individuals. Motivation, while exciting, is temporary by nature. It rises quickly when you hear inspiring ideas, watch something emotional, or imagine a better future. But without systems, that energy fades just as fast. Systems are what turn inspiration into repeatable behavior. A system is a routine that removes the need to decide every day. It tells you when to work, what to work on, and how to begin. This reduces mental friction and saves willpower. Instead of debating with yourself, you follow a process already chosen. That is why systems outperform motivation. They function even when you are tired, distracted, or stressed. Over time, systems build momentum. Momentum reduces resistance. With less resistance, consistency improves. As consistency improves, results appear. Results then reinforce the system, making it easier to continue. People who seem highly motivated are often simply following strong systems. Their success looks emotional, but it is structured. When your life is guided by systems rather than moods, progress becomes steady, predictable, and far more powerful. Comfort feels harmless because it offers immediate relief. After a long day, choosing the easy option seems reasonable. Skipping effort today does not appear dangerous. But comfort, when chosen repeatedly, quietly shapes habits that weaken ambition. The mind begins to prefer convenience over challenge. Tasks that require focus start to feel heavier than they really are. Goals that once felt exciting begin to look distant. This is how potential slowly fades, not through failure but through avoidance. Growth requires friction. Learning demands mental strain. Physical strength comes from resistance. Emotional resilience develops through difficulty. When comfort becomes the default choice, these growth experiences become rare. Over time, the gap between where you are and where you could be grows wider. Comfort is not the enemy by itself, but uncontrolled comfort creates stagnation. It teaches the brain to escape effort instead of facing it. Each time you choose the harder path with purpose, you rewire this pattern. You prove that discomfort is not danger, it is development. Facing challenges regularly builds tolerance for effort. Increased tolerance makes future challenges easier to approach. This cycle strengthens character, focus, and confidence. At the same time, massive achievements are rarely the result of single dramatic efforts. They are built through small, repeated actions that seem insignificant in the moment. One focused hour of study may not feel life-changing. One healthy meal may not transform your body. One day of discipline may not feel powerful. But consistency multiplies impact. Small actions compound like interest. The key is repetition, not intensity. When actions are repeated daily, they create momentum. Momentum reduces the mental effort needed to continue. What once felt difficult becomes routine. Routine turns into identity. Identity shapes long-term behavior. This is why tiny habits matter more than occasional bursts of extreme effort. Extreme effort without consistency leads to burnout. Small steady effort builds endurance. Each completed action becomes evidence that you are capable of following through. That evidence strengthens belief. Strong belief supports further action. Over time, the results of these small disciplined choices become visible and powerful. Progress that once seemed slow becomes undeniable. The transformation appears sudden to others, but it was built quietly through daily commitment and steady repetition. Real change begins at the level of identity, not just behavior. Many people try to force new habits while still seeing themselves the same way. They say they want discipline, focus, or confidence, yet deep down they still believe they are inconsistent or easily distracted. Actions that conflict with identity rarely last. The mind naturally returns to what feels familiar. When identity shifts, behavior follows with less resistance. Instead of trying to act disciplined, you begin to see yourself as someone who does not break promises to themselves. That subtle shift changes decisions in ordinary moments. You choose the task over the distraction, the workout over the excuse, the preparation over delay. Each action becomes a vote for the person you are becoming. Repeated votes strengthen identity. A stronger identity makes disciplined behavior feel natural rather than forced. This is why lasting transformation is internal before it is external. Achievements are visible, but identity is the foundation that supports them. When you change the story you tell yourself about who you are, you unlock new levels of consistency, courage, and focus. At the same time, thinking about the future version of yourself creates powerful perspective. Imagine meeting the person you will be in 10 years. That person is shaped by what you choose today. Every hour spent learning, building, or improving becomes a gift sent forward. Every hour wasted becomes a burden they must carry. This mental image builds responsibility beyond the present moment. Decisions are no longer only about comfort now, but about consequences later. Your future self depends on your current discipline, your willingness to act despite resistance, your ability to protect time and attention. When this connection becomes clear, short-term temptations lose some of their power. You begin to act with long-term respect for yourself. Discipline then becomes an act of self-trust. Each completed task sends a message forward that you care about who you are becoming. Over time, this practice builds pride, confidence, and direction. The future stops feeling distant and starts feeling connected to today's effort, creating purpose in daily action and meaning in consistent discipline.